Jeremy, thank you. The shift to this colder weather, along with the start of several months worth of holiday festivities, can also raise the fire risks around your home. Topeka Fire Marshal Alan Stahl is here, and this is a very timely visit, not just because of those things, but also a reminder that we have this time of year. Daylight saving is this weekend. We fall back.
Yes.
Which is a good time to do what?
Which is a great time to check those batteries and your smoke alarms. We want you to change those batteries if they're not a built-in.
Okay, smoke alarm, and we should have a carbon monoxide detector in our house too, I bet.
Absolutely, and this is the time of the year that you want to make sure that that thing is very good and functional, so put a new battery in that carbon monoxide detector. Remember, you can't smell carbon monoxide, and it really becomes a problem when we close up our houses and we turn on our heaters.
How frequently should we be replacing those detectors? Because it seems like, you get them and forget them.
Yeah, really, the manufacturers are recommending that we do that every 10 years now. So if you've had your house a while, just like me, suddenly you realize when you're changing those batteries, there'll be a made date on that smoke alarm or that carbon monoxide alarm. If it's over 10 years, we're recommending that you replace it.
Okay, what is it about this time of year that makes those carbon monoxide alarms in particular so important?
It's the time of year we're all starting up our heaters. And most of us heat with natural gas or propane here in Northeast Kansas. So those systems have been sitting all summer, not being used, and maybe the vents are clogged. Maybe there's a crack in the heat exchanger. Any of those things can create carbon monoxide gas. And because we haven't been regularly using the appliance, we're not prepared for that.
I think too that this is also a time of year when we start to think about some people warm up their cars. If you have a garage, that's not the place to be starting a car and leaving it run with the door down.
Yeah, absolutely. That can be a deadly experiment, for lack of better terms, because that car can produce carbon monoxide, and many of them produce a large amount of carbon monoxide at a very quick pace. And that can overcome you either in the garage or even in the house.
Seeps into the house. So all good reminders there. Halloween is this week. So backing up a little bit, what about Halloween poses some various fire dangers? Although if it keeps raining,
Yeah, this year I think we're looking pretty good with the moisture, but the big thing is for us is just to have a safe and secure Halloween. People really love to decorate, and one of the things that we ask is that you try not to use candles. You can get tea lights that are electric now for your pumpkins, for your others, electric candles, things like that, because when you're putting up the fake spider webs or any of those things, that really ups the amount of flammability in your house.
Or if you have a burning candle in the pumpkin on your porch and, your neighbor kid with the costume that's kind of flowy stands there waiting for the treats, and you got an open flame right there.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we say is that make sure that you have a non-flammable Halloween costume, right? By buying those from a reputable source or creating your own that's out of a natural material, just be careful. Don't have just like, wearing that plastic trash bag like I did as a kid is probably not a good idea.
Well, you guys also go out on you're the first responders when there are injury accidents. So what other advice, this isn't necessarily fire safety advice, but just in general, when the trick-or-treaters are out there, it can be a dangerous evening.
Yeah, it really is. And we're very nervous whenever you get that many kids wandering around the streets. One of the big things we want is for those kids to be seen and to be able to see. So that is having a flashlight, not wearing a mask, use face paint instead. And then if possible, have some type of reflective material in your costume. I highly recommend that your kids go as firefighters. We have all of those things covered already.
Absolutely. Okay, so heading into the holiday season then, once we get past Halloween, we've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, parties are going on. Cooking is a big part, food's a big part of those celebrations. What should we be looking at in our kitchens to make sure that, how busy are you with kitchen fires over the holidays?
So nationwide, Thanksgiving Day is the largest day for house fires.
This is not a comment on my cooking. I just want y'all to know.
We jokingly say it's amateur day in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But remember that if you're not regularly cooking in ways that you're doing large amounts of food, make sure that you're being very safe around your stove. So we'll see people that will just accidentally put something on a hot burner, turn the wrong burner on. So make sure that you're not putting anything that's flammable on your stovetop. The other one is if you're being creative about how you cook, whether that's smoking a turkey or frying a turkey, don't do that in your garage or anywhere that's flammable like on your deck. Make sure that that's far enough away from the house. If you run a smoker inside, you could have a carbon monoxide problem.
Very good reminders. And then, of course, you mentioned candles earlier. That warning probably holds true throughout really the year.
Absolutely. Everybody enjoys a good scented candle and what it can do for your house, but not paying attention to those can turn into a very dangerous situation immediately, and it just takes a moment of inattention with those candles. So make sure that they're in a good, safe container, that they're away from combustible materials, and that people are paying attention to those. Don't take a nap with a candle burning. Don't leave your kids around candles burning, and cats and dogs, all of that stuff.
I was going to say, I'm not allowed to burn candles in the house anymore because cats. So very timely reminders. Alan, appreciate you. Thanks for letting us know all about that.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. We are going to find out how veterans can get a dental checkup for free.